Okay, ladies, let's dance. This is beginner's dance of the moon goddess. Here we go. First, let's talk about the posture because that's important so we don't hurt ourselves. And also with good posture, we look way better. So, the dance posture we're going to be using, put the girls out there. Be proud of them. Chest lifted, okay? Tuck the tailbone slightly. Instant flat stomach. You'll notice a little tightening of your bum, but you'll notice some action happening in your upper abs because these are literally pulling that motion up. You're actually using your stomach more than your bum to execute this move. This also takes pressure off your lower back and allows us to perform and execute some of the moves. We are going to be doing a bit of belly dance. Okay, so posture, chest out, tail tucked, and imagine a silk ribbon going from the crown of your head, keeping you up nice and tall. Okay, this ribbon also, you can picture it going through your entire body. This will actually come in handy later, but we'll get into that then. Okay, so what we're going to do, well, you want an intro to your dance, okay? And we're going to focus on all the cool stuff we can do with making circles without any complex footwork and a lot of complicated mechanics and instruction. Well, come in. Claim your sacred space. Walk in a circle. Add some drama with the hands. You can even put your hands up. You can move your hands around. It's okay. Do whatever you want. Spin in a circle. Continue on with your circle. You can move around. Look to the center of the circle, like there's some sacred object in it. Perhaps the moon. Okay, so have fun with the intro. It creates a little drama, a theatrical entrance, instead of just walking in and, oh, I'm dancing now. Okay? So walk in, claim your space. Put the girls out there, be proud of them. I don't care how big or small they are. And the circle is your sacred space. Okay, walking. Some things you can do to pretty up a basic walk to make it look dance-like. We walk one step in front of the other. Try pointing your toe. Point the toe. Point. Point. Okay? This can be dramatic in itself. Also, let's say you want to move forward or back. Well, you could just walk forward or back, or remember, the toe point can be more interesting. Okay? Another thing you can do with a basic walk, instead of just walking left-right like your feet are on a railroad track, cross over. Cross over. You can really sweep the leg out for more drama. Okay, you can also do that going backwards. So you cross over, you're coming closer. But now you're going to go back. And you can cross over. You can cross over. Another thing you can do is cross over going sideways. Crossing. Crossing. Notice I'm stepping to the front. Stepping to the back. So what you do, alternate front, back, and that can look dramatic. Going to the front, crossing to the back. Crossing to the front, crossing to the back. See? That's actually called a grapevine. Now, something else you could do is when you move It's just bringing your feet to meet the other. You're not crossing over. You're just going out, together, out, together, out, together. Okay? So play around with the different ways you can pretty up a basic walk without a bunch of complicated footwork and the counting 5, 6, 7, 8, you know, all that. Forget it. This is an intuitive dance. Forget about technicalities. Okay, so your introduction, make it your own. Circles. Okay? The walk, play around. Also notice something you can do with your hands is, like, notice when I was moving to the side, it's almost like I'm pushing off of an invisible wall. You could pull yourself in. Play around with it. Have fun. And remember, you have powers. You have lots of powers. Look, you could just push your arm out like this. You could really push it and bring it back. You can come out to the audience, engaging them, bringing them in toward you. Remember, you have powers, and you're making a sacred offering. Something I actually learned from a Persian dancer is this dance that she taught me called Sun and the Moon. And what she did, she was stepping over, but as she was doing this, she was praising the moon, shielding from the sun. Praise the moon, shield from the sun. So it can look a lot like this. Sun and the moon. So cross over, look at the moon. Put your other foot out, stepping, shield from the harsh sun. Okay? That's the move. Sun and the moon. What can you do with your arms? Well, we've been making all kinds of circles on the floor, and we can do things with our arms. Sweetie. She's nibbling at my skirt tip. That's not a chew toy. Circle with my arm. A full circle. Do half circle, which is a crescent moon. Look, a little quarter moon. Little quarter moon. Little quarter moon. When your arms are up, they got to come down. Other things you can do with your arms or your hands. Pretend you're holding the moon in your hand and you do not want to drop it. So when you move your hands, it needs to stay in a way, literally. If you have something on it or a candle lit, you could keep it on your palm. So this is where, if you imagine something you would actually do in real life, the anatomical and mechanics, I don't need to explain it to you. You've already got it. In fact, you'll put something in your hand, play around, and you'll know if you have it wrong because you're going to drop it. Another fun thing is making these cool little circles with your hand above your head, and it's when you go like this. And that can be a very dramatic effect. This can also be difficult to explain how to really do it. But on the upside, it's almost like if you are holding a ball, you're kind of massaging around it, but you're coming back down. Mechanically, I don't really know how to break it down. Just play with it. Circles with your head. Half moon circles with your head. Let's see. When it comes to improvisation, especially when you really like a song or you know a song, often it will evoke you to do things. It's very organic as it unfolds. So there will be aspects of the music that tend to make you want to either move or stay in place, do something with your arms versus traveling. Now we're not going to get into complex stuff, like I said, complicated footwork or even the technicalities of the hip work with belly dance and things like that, but we'll go through some basics, because when you imagine that silk ribbon really extending from your spine out the top of your head and down through your tailbone, which should be tucked a bit. Now rotate your hips around that imaginary ribbon. Try not to touch it. Tighten up the move. Same thing with your chest, imaginary ribbon. You go around it. You can tighten it up. If we had little invisible magic markers on our body, we could be drawing circles on the wall. For example, if we had like magic markers, magic ones of course, invisible, attached to the girls, you could do circles on the wall. Circles. Around the invisible silk ribbon. Okay, you can also do figure eights on the wall, which are really two circles put together. Same thing with the hips, figure eights on the wall or the floor. Now I could break this down mechanically, but if you literally pictured those magic markers attached to your hips, and you really had to draw figure eights to save your life, you'd be able to figure it out without any further instruction. Okay? We're just drawing figure eights in the sand. Crescent moon sweep out with your feet. Or you could even sweep it on all the way around. As for spinning, a couple ways to do that. Let's say you're just standing in place and you want to spin. If you cross your foot over, you're already ready for that. Okay, and see, I crossed it over the front, and I'm just spinning around. Now, you could cross it over to the back as well, and go the other way. So play around with the cross and spin, and see what happens. Half moons, little crescent moons. We can do them with our hips, little half moons. Again, you can travel with that, having leg step out, the other leg meet it. Okay, these are some belly dance moves. And you're just making little half moons. So, from the side, I'm making little half moons on the wall now with those invisible magic marker. Also, you can scoop down, do your crescent the other way. Okay? Play around with these moves. You can also take them in a circle. Also, play with doing the other side of your body. You will find it's easier on one side than the other, but do play around with both because you will build up strength and you will find you gain better coordination in exercising your least dominant side. Let's see. We were doing some big giant circles around our spine or the silk ribbon, right? We can do little crescent moves. And you can also take this in a circle, okay? These are very basic moves and some of the fundamentals in belly dance. Also to the back and to the front. You can see how different it can look just changing the direction. Just like with the figure eights I'm drawing in the sand, try to go the other way. See how it looks different? With the back hip sweeping forward versus the front sweeping back. Now, when you're doing these sweep outs and you're going outside of your central line we talked about, you're kind of doing a slide back over to get to the other side. Slide, okay? So from the front, literally just play around with sliding your hips from left to right. Do this with your chest as well. These are called chest slides. We even have head slides. And guess what? You can even slide your eyes. That's right. That's very Indian, actually. So have fun with basically drawing shapes with your body. What we're really doing here, we're just making a bunch of circles and lines, basically. Little hip circles. Hip circles on the wall. But you can see how dramatic it can look with the curvature of the female form. Okay? Let's see, what else can we do with circles? Oh, well, we have shoulder shimmies, but guess what? They can do little circles. They can go back. They can go forward. You can alternate them. You can do them at the same time. So play around with it. Okay? Make it your own. Now for your arms, in dance, you don't want like weak little arms, okay? There's something very, very powerful in the posture as well as how we hold our arms. Now let's say you want some drama and you want to like bring your hands up to honor that big full moon. Okay, yeah, you can just go like this. But look at what happens when it's done with intent, you know? Like, really put that energy into it. Also, notice my elbows are kind of leading the way. So picture like strings to your elbows where they've got kind of this quality, okay? Because look at what happens when I don't do that. It's not the same with the motion coming up, but when I go like this, I look like I'm really getting big, you know? Growing, powerful, very powerful. Another thing, notice if your arms are out like this, we can get our little bat wings, okay? All of us, even some of us skinny girls. So what happens is when you point your elbows to the back, it's an instant slenderization, okay? Look, we go from this to this. There's the difference. And remember, it's almost like your elbows have strings or they're resting on a shelf. Picture behind you is like some sort of ledge and you could literally rest your elbows on it. That's one way you know you're in the right position with the right look for those arms. What to do with the arms was a big thing for me. I struggled with coordination, what to do. I could do some of the moves isolated on their own, but I was struggling with combining them all together and moving with it. And God forbid we put finger symbols on. And then there was that layer of, it was just a lot for my body to be able to handle and coordinate. So the thing with the arms, for a long time, I didn't know what to do, and I kind of got them just hanging there like little limp rags, okay? But one thing you can do, and you will see this often in tribal fusion, belly dance, and American tribal style belly dance, is when the woman kind of almost, sometimes it's a little funny when they put their hands out like this. It's like little pterodactyl hands, and I'm not feeling that at all. But it is common, but I like to almost look like I'm resting my hands on my hips. I think this is more of a natural look rather than this, or kind of that, and you know, so I just kind of, I'm not really putting my hands really where I normally would if I'm standing like this, and I have them a bit lower, more like pelvic height, and just let your fingers relax. So, you know, and when you're executing some of your moves, to make it look more dramatic, you don't have to be moving all your body parts. In fact, if you're just moving one and try to keep your body still, it's going to look more dramatic with like just something as simple as hip figure eights. Or even a chest circle. Okay? Very, very simple. Now, with the arms, again, you know, play around, but if you want to have your arms out, one of the most important things, I think, is to have the pretty hands. So, you know, how do you explain really how to hold your hands, but notice there's kind of this little dip of the middle finger that can look pretty, versus just, you know, something more straight or relaxing, or so. Almost like if you pictured like a little weight holding down just some of your middle fingers. So, you know. Now, some really beautiful things you can do with your hands are florios. And this is very flamenco. You will see this a lot in Spanish dance. And they will start overhead, and they will come down, and they will come back up. Okay? They might switch off. And these are called florios. How would I really describe to do this? I don't know, but really in a way, I'm just kind of, with my little magic marker finger, kind of really just doing circles, making circles, and go the other way, play with it. Some other things you can do with your hands are like kind of waves, okay? And that can look dramatic if you put it right under your eyes, kind of like a bit of a veil, you know? Let's see, what else with the hands, arms, and wrists? Well, there are snake arms, and snake arms can look very dramatic. This is really great for like kind of more slower music, and you can take them up in the air. Now, what I'm doing here, I'm really doing figure eights with my chest, okay? But yes, it can look very dramatic when combined with some of the snake arms. It's almost like I'm pushing off of the wall. Pushing off. Pushing off. That's kind of how I visualize it, because some instructors have a devil of a time explaining this move to women, but once I got the wall push-off thing. Another helpful thing was them saying, imagine you're holding like a broom, your little witch's broom, and you're wanting to take flight. But imagine if you were like, had your arms here, but you're doing the figure eights with your chest, your arms kind of want to start doing that motion, but then you can like make it more exaggerated. If you have to, actually go get a cane or a stick or whatever and play with that, and you'll see what I'm talking about. What else can we do with our arms? Well, something I've learned in dance from the Far East, like Persia, which is now Iran and India, are they mimic some things you do in beauty care. Like in India, for example, they have this thing where it's almost like you're looking in a mirror and you're applying your makeup. Okay? So play with that. Brushing the hair away from your face. See, that's a motion you already know how to do. And it looks more dramatic if you come over with the other hand and arm over your head rather than going like this. But hey, you could do that. Why not? I'm brushing my hair, slicking it back. Have fun. There's no right or wrong here. And don't be afraid to make mistakes or accidents, because that's how some cool new moves are formed, through accidents. So, curiosity is your best teacher. Do not be afraid to explore and to see what will happen out of sheer curiosity, even if you think it won't work. Now, one thing this is important. I wish I would have told you this earlier. I'm sorry. I'm going to lift my skirt so you can see what my knees are doing. It is important in the dance posture that you do keep spring legs. Do not lock them, okay? Keep them slightly bent where there's some bounce. And this gives you more drama. If you straighten your legs, look, I can't do anything now. I mean, try it, okay? But then flex those legs and look at the motion you have. Also, when you are just kind of walking in place, marching, this is something called piston hips in belly dance. And these can be sped up to be a shimmy. Okay? You should be able to execute this move without lifting your feet. But do know and do play around with lifting your feet. Okay? Elevation. Something that can make your dance look more interesting is a simple move and just rise and lower. Just like the moon comes up and goes down. You can do it too. Let's see. Oh gosh, there's so much I want to share with you, but I'm teaching improvisation and being spontaneous just like this video is. I don't really have an outline, okay? So I'm winging it. And I will continue to make videos and add on extra stuff. Well, let's talk a bit about the theatrics and the drama, because that's what really gives power. There's this energy from the woman that can be so magnificent that her dance can be the most basic, simple moves. But let me tell you, when she exudes that empowerment, that female empowerment, I mean, that is a beautiful thing. And ladies, nothing is sexier than confidence. Own it. Own it. And don't be apologetic about it. This is your dance. And you can do whatever you want. Okay? Now, for drills and practice, come in. You're energized from the beginning. The chest is up. Stomach is in naturally once you tuck the tail. You got your little spring legs going, and now you're going to walk in and you're going to claim your space. You own it, honey. This is your sacred circle. Okay? That's what you're going to do. And if you want to be more aloof in your performance, you can. Or you can be more engaging. Offer the crowd your offering. Take it back. Maybe they're not worthy. Okay? That's theatrics. Do not be afraid to make eye contact. Look away. Be coy. Looking over your shoulder can be very playful. There's something called a barrel turn, and you will see this in flamenco dance, which is a very powerful dance for women. Nothing weakling about this. But they do a very cool turn. Remember when I said cross your foot over? Beep, beep, wishbone, get out of the way. Thank you. Okay? And I'm just going to be spinning. But what's going to give us more drama is when I prepare to spin, I'm dipping my shoulder, continuing to look at you as I then spin around. So in real time, it would look more like this. Okay? Now when you are spinning, yes, you can get dizzy. I know. I spin with the sword on my head, and it's like, the spinning is easier than the stopping. Okay? Because then you want to fall over and your body wants to keep spinning. But there's this thing called spotting. So when I'm turning, I'm continuing to look at the camera, in this case, and that helps kind of keep me anchored somehow, okay? And you will notice with dancers who have remarkable speed when they spin, they are spotting something as they come around, typically hitting their eyes on that. Okay? Also, play around with spinning on the other side. Again, you're going to find you have a preference for one side or the other, but do challenge your body and play around with it. What else? What else? Well, I don't know if I talked about making circles in the sand in front of you with your toe, but that can be an interesting look, more so than with the feet. It does this action with the hips, actually, and that can look really cool and really pretty. Okay? I think that's all for today, and I do appreciate you watching. Feel free to comment if you're struggling or you need to work through something. We'll push through that together and figure it out. But do know, if you want this, you can do this. You can have this. A big part of dance is getting past our inhibitions that basically prevent us from fully blossoming, okay? Some of us are late bloomers in life when it comes to unleashing that inner power within us. But you can tap into that at any age in your life. The sooner the better usually, but like I said, some of us were late bloomers and not a thing wrong with that, okay? And you are beautiful as you are. There are people out there that love you as is. As for the others, they can screw off. We can't please everyone, and you know what? You wouldn't want to. Do not try to please everyone. Not everyone will like you, or how you look, or act, or how you dance. It's okay. Because there are other people who are going to think you are the cat's meow. Okay? Alright, ladies. Thanks for tuning in, and namaste, and shimmy on. Shimmy, shimmy. Oh, as a little bonus, okay, before I take off, because this is a very cool look, we talked about the circles, drawing them. If we had our little magic markers sticking out this way, and you draw little circles on the wall, this is a very cool and dramatic look. You can dive in, zoom out. Essentially, I'm drawing circles over there with my chest. Okay? And again, this is something you can even walk with. This could be an interesting way. This is called a camel walk. And when you put your foot out there, you can point your toe. Okay? It makes it look more dramatic and pretty. Let's see. Okay, I think we're good now for today. One last thing though, let's say you want to back up to make it look interesting instead of just walking back. Turn your body. Turn your body. Turn your body. You can even look over your shoulder a bit. Turn your body. Okay? Play. Have fun. Do not be afraid to mess up. Because you can't. There are no rules. You own it. It's yours, hon. Okay.